with it, and I went on her word. And I thought, I don't know what I thought. I'm sorry. Please, it kills me to see you mad. I've been crying all day long. I've been going out of my freaking mind. And I'm just sorry. I didn't think. And you have to understand that I have the mind of a 13-year-old. I'm bound to make mistakes. But please, you know I would never want to do anything wrong. You know.
Hey guys, Becca Scoops here, back in the Becca Scoops chair to bring you another video on this mess. Yeah, I'm back. Well, I'm not exactly sure how this video is going to go. This is an ambitious video because I wanted to expose Gypsy's relationship patterns, her narcissism. And so that's going to be quite a task ahead of me. But I could do like a 10-part series on this. I was going over all the different messages, the different videos, the different, I mean, not only with Nick, but then with Ryan and with Ken. And those are the three, big relationships that she have that I'm going to focus on. And there is definitely a pattern here. Sick pattern, shocking pattern, that proves that no, she didn't get rehabilitated in prison. There's nothing like that that went on. So, you know what I want you to do right now? Yeah, this is going to be another bumpy ride. I hope you'll enjoy it as much as you can enjoy a video like this, but get your popcorn, it's January, so we're probably all on diets for New Year's resolutions. Get your carrot sticks and celery out. Get a beverage, diet, or iced tea, or throw in an adult beverage. Why the hell not? And sit back because yeah, here we go. All right, but you know how I do. Before I get to that, I want to talk about her latest little posting over on, I guess, Instagram. She's posting these on shorts on YouTube. It's her little promos for her podcast, I guess. So, yeah, let's go ahead and add that and let's see what she has to say about. Remember, she's in the healing beige Sister Christian rebranding phase. Here we go.
Times is this. Healing is not linear. Some things don't need to be figured out all at once. Sometimes it takes years to find who we are. Growth doesn't happen overnight. It could take small things in small ways to push us to the direction that we want to be in our lives. But at the end of the day,
healing doesn't happen over. What is she talking about it specifically? What kind of healing are we talking about? And how is she in authority on any of this? No, nobody's chiming in on that one. Okay, let's go on. Let's move on.
as the old saying goes, Rome wasn't built in a day. You experience trauma. Trauma is not something that you can necessarily get over.
Well, thanks for that update. I'm not sure she, I guess, is going to sell herself. Notice she's got the beigey, super light pink, just a little bit of pink on the wig. She's trying to talk about healing from trauma. So I guess she's going to sell herself as a trauma survivor, an abuse survivor. Okay, all right. I'm taking notes now. Mentally, it's going into my head. And so she is going to be a credible source to help people get through their trauma, heal from their trauma.
it stays with you for the rest of your life. That in itself is, think of it as
Okay, and now I'm mad. Can I just say one thing right here? I wish I had brought this up, but in my live, if you guys didn't see this portion, go back and see this. Lori the Dream Expert did a great video about Gypsy, and she was talking to this psychotherapist who's an expert in psychopathy. And this expert took a look at Gypsy Rose's Australia 60 Minutes interview and was quite alarmed when she got to the portion where Gypsy was recalling the murder of her own mother. Why? Because she was so detached. And oh, my cat's going to make an appearance, I think. So just don't be alarmed. No, kitty. She was quite detached. And so I can say, and I know that you guys are going to drop comments on it, that anyone that's been through a real trauma, I don't care how long it's been, or even if you've had therapy for it, there's a couple of situations where you feel so exposed that immediately those emotions are going to come rushing back. And it doesn't matter how much work you've done. And I'm going to talk about what those instances are. Number one, being on the stand in a courtroom is extremely exposing, extremely vulnerable. Okay. Doing this publicly is another thing. Getting behind a mic where you think you've already got a handle on that situation. And so then when you're going to start recalling it, take it for someone that has experienced this and felt almost embarrassed how I broke down. This woman is able to talk about these things with this detachment. There's my cat. Okay, Moomoo's. Okay, Kikans. So let's go on. You want to see Kikans? Okay, hold on. Kikans, come here, baby. Come here. Do the little. You want to do the trick? Come on, do the trick. Come on. She does this. There she goes. Come on. There you go. You can't see her. Hold on. She does this little thing. She's so cute. Oh, my little Kikans. Oh, my little Kikans. Look at my little Kikans. Oh, she started doing that when she was a kitten. And maybe it's trauma. Maybe Kikans has trauma. I don't know. All right. Sorry, guys. So that's how Keegan deals with her trauma. Okay. Keegan's actually, I think I should. Oh, sorry, guys. I really screwed this up. I think Keegan should get her own podcast. What do you guys want one? I think Keegan's could get her own podcast, and that's our name, our nickname for her. The other name is Moo-Moos because the black and white. You guys get it? Yeah, you take a seat there, Moo-Moos. All right, let's get back to this.
scar, an invisible scar that doesn't go away. It could fade with time and with therapy, but scar is still there.
Is this groundbreaking information?
And there'll be days that are your good days. There'll be days that are your bad days. There'll be days that you say, I am healed, I am good, and
I can't anymore. I'm sorry. I can't anymore. You get the flavor of where she's going with this. I think Keegan's would have a better healing podcast. At least Keegan has some exercises to do to help with her trauma. And yeah, let's go. Bye-bye now. Bye-bye. All right. Let's get to the meat and bones, the red meat of this video here about Ryan, about Nick, and about Ken. Now, first thing I want to bring up really quick to go over some things so that we can identify them in this video is this. This is the stage of the narcissistic abuse cycle. Number one, idealization, love bombing. The narcissist showers the victim with excessive affection, praise, and attention, creating a false sense of perfect love and intense connection, making the victim feel special and understood. Who does that sound like? I adore you. Oh, the love bombing she does in those videos, right? With Nick, and we can tell it's not real, but Nick doesn't know that, and she is just and she did it with Ken too. Not so much with Ryan, but I'll get to who Ryan is to her. It's this intense love story. You're the only one, soulmates, twin flames. Um, um, it's just an intensity that happens immediately with her. 4 days, she's talking to Nick Godejohn, and they are a thing. She has decided they are a thing, and they're together. Also, she proposes to Nick. I think she's probably proposed to Ken. I think that happened in prison when they got engaged. And so she is very much into that. What happens next in this? Well, we've seen this too with her. I'm going to give you some examples. The devaluation, the shift. The abuser starts to subtly or overtly criticize, undermine, gaslight, and belittle the victim, chipping away at their self-worth and making them doubt themselves. She does this too, right? She does this to both, all of them. All of them. And I'm going to show you examples of the overt criticism, the undermine, the gaslighting, the belittling. Okay. And then next we get the discarding, the break. The narcissist abruptly ends the relationship, often cruelly, leaving the victim devastated, or they may create distance and emotional unavailability. And then number 4, hoovering, reconciliation, the reset. The narcissist reappears. Doesn't she do that with Ryan all the time? Doesn't she do that with Ryan all the time? And she couldn't let Ken go, where something is different, that Ken did actually break up with her, which really sent this narcissistic little sweetie into a turmoil, right? You don't break up with these people, and they will pursue you and pursue you and pursue you and dog you and dog you. And that's what she did with Ken. Ken was lucky that she was locked up at the time. Because I'm talking, the pursuit was just over emails and calls and whatever kind of messaging they could have. And it was intense, let me tell you. But she did the discarding, the breakup with Ryan. And then we have the reset. The narcissist reappears like she does with Ryan. I'm going to give you some examples of that, often with apologies. Going to see that with Nick too. Promises to change. Going to see that with Nick and Ryan too. And Ken, or return to idealizing behavior, hoovering, like, exactly what it means. Drawing the victim back in, like vacuuming, hoovering. That's what that means. It's a Hoover vacuum, only for the cycle to repeat with increased intensity. And key characteristics that we want to look out for in this video of the narcissistic abuse will be the inability or unwillingness to understand the victim's feelings. We see this with Gypsy a lot, don't we? That she really cannot understand what they're feeling. She claims that she can, but she really can't. Her sense of entitlement is very big also. Belief they deserve special treatment, and obedience, exploitation, using others for personal gain. We got that. And then her, of course, big victimhood status, shifting blame and playing the victim to avoid accountability. We see her doing that with her podcast, don't we? Yeah, she's a victim. Her whole podcast is built around her victimhood, her perceived victimhood, correct? Okay. So where do I start with this? I mean, I'm going to kind of jump all over the place because I kind of, put this together quickly to get something out to you guys, because I had the idea, and then I'm like, I want to do this right now. So let me get the first thing I want to bring up here. Okay, we're going to start with this one, an apology, and I'm just going to bring it up and then I'll start explaining.
6 months ago. And he finally responded, and I wrote back and simply explaining that the whole situation had passed and I had moved on. That's my cat. Everything was fine and we got past it and everything. And then Jackie came on and she said that she talked to you and that you said that she wanted to be my friend on Facebook, and she said.
Okay, this is the situation we've gone over in the past, but I want to use it in this video also as an example of this narcissistic abuse cycle. So Gypsy finds herself being caught out in contacting Nick's girlfriend, ex-girlfriend, when, she's got to do these things. It's part of what she does. It's the control factor, the manipulation factor. She can't help herself do these things. And now she's been caught out. And so when she talks about Jackie, that's who that is. And let's go ahead. I want you to pay particular attention to what she says and her emotions. And do you buy the emotions? Is she okay? And this is something that she does over and over again. This particular thing, as a matter of fact, and I'm going to show you.
That you said that it would be all right as long as she didn't cause any trouble between us. And so that's why I accepted her friend request. And I wanted to talk it over with you. I really, really did. But I do know you aren't online, and I know why. I completely understand.
No accountability, right? It's not my fault. It's not my fault.
But please, please understand me when I say I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to go against your wishes. She said that you would be okay with it. And she said that you were okay with it. And I went on her word. And I thought, I don't know what I thought. I'm sorry. Please, it kills me to see you mad. I've been crying all day long.
Does she look like she's been crying all day long?
Going out of my freaking mind. And I'm just sorry. I didn't think. And you have to understand that I have the mind of a 13-year-old. I'm bound to make mistakes. But please, you know I would never want to do anything wrong. You know I hate to disappoint you. And things were going so good. I was happy.
There aren't any tears there. There just isn't. It's just not even good acting, right, guys? It's not even good acting. So, all right. So there she did that, right? And so did she do this with Ken too? Well, she surely did. She surely did. Let me bring that up. Okay. This next video is thanks to Conspiracy. The one prior to that was one I took from Into the Weeds. Thanks to them. You can find them in my description box also. I'm going to put everybody, there's so many people that have contributed to a lot of this information, and I always want to give them credit. So here's Conspiracy.
This message, I didn't see it right away because it was in my filtered folder. So Gypsy messages me on July 26th and says, I sent you a message on Facebook. I sent you pictures of Ken's ex-girlfriend. I was getting so annoyed with all these rumors that, quote, Ken is gay, that I wanted to share with you the truth of his dating life before he and I got back together. He had been seeing a woman named...
So Gypsy is trying to get Conspiracy and other content creators to out Ken's ex-girlfriend. Forget about what she's saying about he's gay and her reasoning. It's not what her plan was. Remember how during the Lifetime series, she finds the blonde hair and the brush. Look, she, even with Ryan, she even made Ryan send his ex-girlfriend's picture to Gypsy in prison. She cannot help herself but try to identify who the exes are with the guy she's with, and she's got to go there. She's got to contact them. She's got to possibly humiliate them in some way. She is just a narcissist who has to be in total control of the situation. And here's how she played it with Conspiracy and others when it came to Ken. She made up this whole story. Just we'll listen to a little bit more, but it's utter bullshit what she's talking about.
Blank for 5 years before he and I got back together. Now, I did mark out Ken's ex-girlfriend's name because, to my knowledge, her name has never been publicly shared.
No, it hasn't. And Ken's ex-girlfriend does not want to be, I'm assuming, since she's never come forward, that the last thing she wants to do is get involved in any of this mess with these crazies in this case, right? Okay, so there's that. We're going to start moving around now to a couple of other things, okay? Let's take a listen to Ken. Hold on, let me bring up this one.
Me for a minute, like,
or there's a lot of misinformation like that. People think that like I was down there hanging out with her at Rod and Christie's house while she was still with Ryan. That's completely untrue and that's false. The only time that the very first time that I met up with Gypsy was after she had moved out of Ryan's house, moved back in with Rod and Christie, and then we met up for the first time.
okay, well, yeah, that was the only part about that I just had always like in my mind was just like, I found it a little strange that maybe like you would contact the stepmom instead of Gypsy herself. I didn't know what was.
Well, I mean, the whole notion that I contacted Christie for this to happen is just untrue. Like me and Christie had remained.
Oh, really? That's untrue? And here's the point about this with Christie's interference, Ken's interference, Ryan's interference. These are all people that protect the abuser, Gypsy. These are all people that protect the narcissist, okay? It's kind of like they are so sucked into this cycle, okay, that they can't be public with who she is. And for some reason, when you get into this kind of a relationship with this kind of malignant narcissist, who's also a sociopath, psychopath, there is this degree of you're as sick as your secrets, right? That the secret is, yeah, we know that she's kind of like this, but they're going to go out publicly 1,000%, right, to protect her. It's bizarre. It is bizarre, but you see it with her cult members too. There's something about that triggers people that possibly broken people. I mean, that aren't self-aware. They recognize something in her that is familiar from their family of origin, possibly. Do you understand what I'm saying? That we all are raised in certain families, and a lot of the families are very dysfunctional. I would say most families have some sort of dysfunction, some more than others. But if you were raised by somebody that had a cluster B personality disorder or was a malignant narcissist or something like that, as a kid, that became your norm. That became familiar. That became soothing. It's why people that end up in domestic violence relationships, many times their father or mother, whoever, were abusers themselves. And then you wonder, well, why did that person get with a person that's beating them up when they were raised in that environment? Wouldn't you think that they would not want that? They would be cognizant to not pick someone like that. No, it's the pattern. It feels familiar. They feel at home with these people. And so this is why I say Nick, Ryan, Ken, and even Christy to some extent, because she protects Gypsy, also have issues where something about Gypsy triggers in them something feeling familiar that they want to protect. Okay. It's my humble opinion. All right. I would love to see your comments on it. I don't know everything. This is just based on my own professional training over the years and, sitting in on so many. Well, I worked as a psychiatric nurse, obviously, and saw thousands and thousands of cases of domestic violence, domestic abuse, emotional abuse, all of that. And so this is where what I am sharing with you comes from. Okay. So you just heard Ken there say that Christy had nothing to do with it. Let me just back it up a little bit because I'm going to show you something.
Instead of Gypsy herself. I didn't know what was.
Well, I mean, the whole notion that I contacted Christy for this to happen is just untrue. Like me and Christy had remained in touch over the years on a friend.
Okay. So What Justin was trying to say is, didn't Christy have something to do with getting you back together? What isn't this what went on, that you guys behind the scenes? And Ken's like, no, I mean, I talked to Christy, but this is so funny, you guys. Right here, People Magazine, Christy admits that she was the one that got him back together. Christy says, it's all my fault and I'll gladly take the blame. I wanted them back together. And it's very interesting how Christy was more familiar with the Ken than Ryan, meaning Christy really wanted Ryan gone. So there was something about Ryan that didn't work for Christy. And you got to say, this is one of the most dysfunctional families that we've ever seen, right? I mean, these Blanchards with Gypsy and the way that they shelter her and have enabled her, obviously there's a lot of issues with that family of origin. So Christy is in the thick of it, always in the thick of it with Gypsy, right? Okay, I want to make this bigger. What she says here, it's all my fault and I'll gladly take the blame. I wanted them back together, she tells People exclusively for the first time while sitting in a hotel room. She's sharing with her stepdaughter in New Orleans on May 21st. I made that happen. Put the heat on me. So when you don't get your story straight, this kind of stuff happens when you're all out to protect the malignant narcissist, psychopath, mommy murderer. It doesn't go well. You are protecting somebody who's made so many lies, and then you're telling so many lies, and you feel that your lies are good. You feel that they're warranted because you're trying to protect poor victim Gypsy. That's how they think, right? And their thinking is very wrong. Okay, let me get to a few other things here you guys are going to want to see. Speaking of Christy, we've got also Christy contacting Nick. That's right. Christy contacting Nick in prison. This is from NPG Cornerstone. They brought this out several months ago. It says, while Nick was in Fulton, he received an email from the evil Blanchard stepmama. Nick deleted it, but recalls the main point being that she claimed to feel sorry for how things unfolded and regretful about how Gypsy made victims out of both him and her mama. Christy didn't bother replying after sending this and quickly removed herself from his contacts. This is what Nick wrote back to Christy. He wrote, Krusty, why on earth would you want to email me after all your stepdaughter has done to me? So I have reason to be wary of you. Please don't try to do what your stepdaughter did to me because I don't trust her anymore. Right now, I have no reason to trust you, but will wish you positively under the bright sun, though. Solemnly, Nicholas Godejohn. Okay. You might find it odd. Why was Christy contacting Nick? Well, Nick has always said he's got more to share. He's got stuff that he wants to say. I'm sure Christy was panicking in her protective mode to protect the abuser, to protect the person that doesn't deserve the protection, right? And so that's why she runs around the internet. We've heard stories running around the internet, trying to, make friendly with content creators, trying to get in their good graces, hoping to get and push the narrative that they want to push about Gypsy being this ultimate victim, this little girl victim, and the big, bad, mean Dee monster mom. Okay. So what else do I have for you guys? All right, well, let's talk about the rings. Gypsy likes to put rings on people. This is just going to go real quick. Here's the ring she sent to Nick. This is very weird, okay? But we got to talk about rings. Why would a girl, it's not normal for a girl or woman or young woman to send rings to people. She did it also to Ken. It is the same pattern that she does. She is trying to trigger them to make a commitment to her. That's what this is about. She is trying to trigger them to make a commitment to her. And then she goes and asks Nick to get married. She proposes. Look, can a woman propose? Sure. But the ring thing is a little odd. This isn't the norm in our culture. The norm in our culture is that women get an engagement ring or something like that, and it screams just like desperation, manipulation, and control. How she did this with both of them, right? She did this with both of them, and it's weird. And we also got the tattoos. Even Ryan got a tattoo. We know about Ken's tattoo. Nick didn't get a tattoo, but here is other ways that Gypsy manipulates the people around her, and that cycle of abuse that I talked about in the beginning. This goes for the cult members too. They're all on this. They get scared that they'll probably, be devalued. They're scared they're going to get discarded. Some of them probably are discarded, but they always do not talk bad about her. Why? Because of number 4. Because number 4, they know that she will reappear, right? Like with Ryan, right? She divorces Ryan, but then she's sending him text messages, right? She divorces Ryan, but then she makes horrendous public statements about him being on MAT, medicated assisted therapy, right? And then he doesn't call her out. And I want you guys to watch a couple of these videos that really, really show just how terrible this cycle of abuse can be. Okay, this one with Nicholas Godejohn is going to be a little bit difficult. I'm gonna help you guys with this, but I think it's a very important clip to show this cycle of abuse, the narcissistic, malignant cycle that these people get into.
Is there anything? And then they weren't able to get me to talk. They were trying to release me within 24 hours. Yeah.
Gosh. So she's still going to come to the trial. How much do you know about the Dr. Phil interview?
I have to watch it.
The interviewer is asking, this is while he's in prison, what did you think about the Dr. Phil interview? And right there, if you see those 5 days when I was actually with her, that's actually a quote from the Oxygen. I screenshotted this Oxygen thing to remind myself that actually he said that the best 5 days of his entire life were those 5 days after the murder that he spent with Gypsy. Very sad. Very sad. Okay. So this interviewer now asked him about, what did you think about the Dr. Phil interview, Gypsy's Dr. Phil interview?
I got to watch it on television just as they were airing it.
No, you're joking.
I'm not joking.
Oh my gosh. How
That's the reason
did that feel?
I'm very disappointed in her, to tell you the truth.
I was disappointed in her, to tell you the truth.
Yeah, I'm very disappointed in her.
Oh gosh, I can't imagine how that must have felt. Because you obviously knew that she's been talking to people, but I guess something like Dr. Phil is quite a well-known thing, isn't it? And you must have been, I guess that must have been the first time you've seen her, isn't it? Like since? And then after court and everything.
Yeah, just about. But the weirdest thing is that I could see hints within her while she was being interviewed that even though she was telling me and telling the rest of the audience a completely different story about me, and supposedly she used to love me and blah, 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 I could actually tell within her body language as well as some other stuff that she isn't being very truthful.
Okay, so he says even though she was saying she used to be in love with him and other things, that he says, according to her body language, she wasn't being very truthful.
Right.
Once they actually showed the video, apparently it was 24 hours after her mom was gone, of me and her joking around and stuff, she got very emotional because she was trying not to cry. So that's when her actual true emotions were showing. So she can say she doesn't love me anymore and the rest of that all she wants, but I didn't see her do it.
She can say she doesn't love me all she wants, but I don't see her doing it, something like that. So he's denying. Actually, he's going to say, reaffirm her here that he believes Gypsy is still in love with him.
I know without a doubt that there's no way she couldn't still love me. There's no way she could.
There's no way she couldn't still not love me. There's no way in his mind. You see that this is the cycle of abuse. Plus with Nicholas, we have the challenge, his autism challenge, that takes it up even another notch. So yeah.
So you think that she's just saying she doesn't love you anymore, just to make her, just as sort of like a cover, I guess, but you think, knowing what you know about your relationship, that she's maybe not she's lying a bit.
Yeah, exactly. Basically, that's what I put it is. I see her putting on a facade, basically.
She's putting on a facade, basically. Now, it's interesting because we know Nick has level 2 autism. Yet the other day I heard Ryan Anderson, I said this on my last live or on the video, that he actually said the same thing when people were, questioning him about, why don't you want to see the videos? Why don't you want to know more about the case? Why? And he said, I don't want to know about any of that. Remember? And I was kind of like snarking on him about it, right? I don't want, don't tag me in those videos. Don't tag me in those videos, right? He said, though, in a serious moment, because if I found out that any of that was true about her being a malignant narcissist, about her having, being a psychopath, that it would kill me. That basically he wouldn't, like, he'd have a mental break. He just could not fathom going there right now. Now, I don't use that as an excuse. And in fact, let's go ahead and bring up some of his behavior.
Weighing all kind of options, guys. 20 kids every hour. Like, I just didn't want to do that. I didn't enjoy that aspect. I enjoyed the small classroom setting and being with my sped kids. I loved it. Those kids are great. The show did get canceled. I saw that. The Life After Lockup is gone. They did not pick it up again. That's what I heard. So it didn't get picked up because nobody likes Ken. I mean, duh.
Oh God, his laugh.
I don't know why I didn't, guys. I don't. I'm just playing. I don't know why. That's my theory. That's my legit theory. I will say that's my legit theory. What's my plan now? I've got some options. I've applied to some places and waiting to hear back.
Now, this is a couple months ago, right? We don't hear anymore about him teaching, which is really sad. I don't know what's going on with that. It was supposedly his career. But he's going to say something very poignant here about that fits right into this video.
I have some opportunities I'm weighing out. People want me to do a book, and I have so much information, so much documentation, so many things that I could do. I have so much. But I kept everything that we sent back and forth, but it's like, I don't know. It's the light. Somebody said I look AI. How it's just my Dr. Pepper light over there giving that red glow off. Let me turn on the other light. People tell me make my money and stuff, and I have a lot of material. I have so much, but how long do I want to live in that? If I did write a book, it would be, I write it, tell all, done, move on. But do I want to keep reliving it over and over and over and over and over? I mean, it kind of betrays her trust too if I did that. I don't know.
It kind of betrays her trust if I did that. Do you see how sick this is? She has betrayed him in more ways than I can't even count, right? And writing a book could be cathartic. Actually, he doesn't have to spill the tea publicly, but I don't think he's spilling any tea privately with anyone, and that's why he's stuck where he's at. And he's waiting, like I showed you in the beginning. What is he waiting for? Well, like I said, he's waiting for number 4. The narcissist will reappear, often with apologies. He's experienced that with her many times that we don't even know about, I'm sure. Okay? Because we know she would do things to him, and then we know they're texting back and forth again, right? And so he's waiting still. She has trained him to wait. I will reappear. It's even in prison emails. Let me bring something up here to show you guys. Okay, take a look at this. The other thing she does is she always has to have someone else on. She can not be with one person. Okay, she's always, because she's not really feeling it. She pretends like she love bombs them and you're my twin flame and you're my soulmate and all that bullshit, right? But here, the same day she gets engaged to Ryan, she takes on a pay pig. Okay, you can pause to read this. Hi, Goddess Gypsy, sent you 50 for your birthday. Oh, that's kind of you. You decide what you want to send me. The only thing people send is 5 because where I am, gifts are not allowed. Appreciate my birthday, 32. Okay. So the same day, okay, she's taking on a pay pig as she gets engaged. Now, something that recently came out also that was brought to my attention is that here is searches. I know you can't see what these are. I'm just showing them to you. If you want to pause the screen later, you can see the very detailed, stuff on this. This is Gypsy between May 6th, 2015 and May 24th, 2015, going on Match.com. Will we assume it was Gypsy? Could it have been Dee Dee? I guess. Why are these dates interesting? Because this is just weeks before the murder. And in fact, May 24th is just like a week and a half before the murder, maybe 2 weeks at the most, right? She is still browsing. I would assume it's not Dee Dee. Look, because I like to try to be as unbiased as I can with when it comes to these facts and stuff. I cannot say definitively about any of those searches who was doing them. We don't know, okay? We just have the data, and then you've got to get a lot of evidence surrounding it, to try to make a educated guess on some of that. All right. We have to be very careful with that. And that's all I say. And I say that all the time. And I've said that since day one on this channel. Okay. So, but we can say definitively while she was in prison, when the day she gets engaged to Ryan, she is conversing with other men. We're conversing with this, what's called a pay pig, sending her money for, sexualized, whatever. Can't be too sexualized in prison, but whatever. It's some kind of a sexualized relationship she's getting paid for in prison. Okay. Now I've got other videos I want you guys to take a look at. Hold on. Let's recall how far Ken is willing to twist himself into a pretzel to keep the abuse narcissist safe and that cycle going.
So it's unfortunate that Nick, agreed to it. But I think it was, like I said before, a tornado meets a volcano. It was a horrible situation. It shouldn't have happened. I don't think that anyone is the hero here or the villain. But, I think that it was a horrible situation and a tragedy that happened. But unfortunately, Nick did agree to do what he did. And he did what he did. And that's where we're at now. Can
Gypsy be angry with him for doing what she asked? That's the part I'm getting. That's the part I'm really having trouble with.
This is such a great point. This is such an underrated point. Why all the animosity towards Nick? Right? Why all the it's what you wanted to happen. He told you many times. We've got even him telling us many times saying, you know what, just run away.
Like, you know what I mean? She didn't ask him just once. It wasn't like this was a one time. There was a lot of emotions involved. There's a lot of pushing and pulling emotionally involved. There's a lot of, it can only happen this way or we can't be together. And keep in mind, he was developmentally disabled. You know what I mean? Like, that's the only part I'm having trouble with is the fact that he did try suggesting other methods to get out of that situation. And I'm not saying Dee Dee didn't do bad things to her.
Well, I wish that he would have told her to call the cops. I wish that he would have thought of any other scenario to get out of it, but instead he went along with.
I mean, the animosity towards this autistic guy, and I'm not saying that Nick isn't guilty. I say he is, okay? But how can he twist himself into a pretzel to not see that Gypsy is the mastermind, that Gypsy took advantage of him? How can he believe? And now, by the way, that all the other evidence has come out, and that's where Gypsy gets this, call the cops thing. She related this on the Nick Vile interview I'm talking about, where she doesn't take accountability. And then you got these morons backing her up so she doesn't take accountability. Will someone in her world call her out and stop making excuses for her? And stop blaming Nick Godejohn for her part in it. Stop worrying about Nick Godejohn. Let's talk about her.
Yes, let's just run away. And she told him no.
Because she had tried running away before and it didn't work out for her.
But it's not like Dee Dee was in the throes of
Now we have more information on all this, right? Now we've got a lot more information on all of this. You know, someone's looking up homeless shelters. I don't care. I don't know if it was Dee Dee or Gypsy. There was something going on in that house where someone was going to a homeless shelter, right? Was Dee Dee like fed up? Get the fuck out. There's problems with that theory. That's all I'm going to say, but it's a possibility. If you guys want to know me to talk about what the problems with that theory are, I'm happy to do a video on it. But right now, even my theory is just a theory. I don't know. So that's why I say you guys make up your own mind, regardless on who was doing the searches. Gypsy, I think, did part of them at least, and that she knew she could leave, right? And yet he's saying, well, she tried to run away once. Well, I want you guys to know that Dan Glidewell told Gypsy, because what did Gypsy say? Well, because my mom had that power of attorney and she was going to call the cops, and I thought the cops were not going to believe me and the cops were going to come and get me and blah, blah, blah. No, there's actually where Dan Glidewell, it's in the record, tells Gypsy, no, that's just that is just for medical things. If you become incapacitated, there's nothing that's stopping you from leaving. And so at least one person who she was apparently listening to told her that no, that's not true. You can leave. Okay.
You know, diabetes, she was almost bedbound at that time. She wasn't going to come running after a cab and stop them.
Well, she had done it before. That's the point.
No, people where Gypsy was at, those people called Dee Dee and said, come get your girl. I'm sure Dee Dee was looking for her too. But how do I know that? Do we know that Dee Dee was awake and that Dee Dee? No, we know from the case file that these people living with Dan Glidewell called Dee Dee because they knew Dee Dee when Gypsy showed up and go, come and get her. We don't want her here. Come and get her.
I mean, I'm not trying to have like an argument about the case.
I'm not trying to have an argument either. I'm trying to
Yes, you
listen,
are.
I'm trying to understand from my perspective as well. I can't put myself in the mind frame of.
No, your perspective is so cloudy and so biased. You shouldn't talk on this. It's so cloudy. You are so not seeing this person for who they are if you're going to bat. Now, I will say this, since the videos have come out and the other FOIAs and the Facebook messages and all of it in the last month or so, he has not come out to defend her. Christy has not come out to defend her. So I don't know. Maybe that was the wake-up call. Was that the wake-up call we needed? Hard to say. Hard to say. But here, just a few months ago, I think this was during the summer, maybe 6 months ago, he went out to defend her, much as like Christy has done many times.
Gypsy during that victimized, frame of mind that she was in at that time. And I can't put myself in the mind frame of Nick and what he thought was the right or wrong thing to do at the time.
Well, maybe you can now that you've seen a lot more evidence, or have you not seen this evidence? I would really love to know.
What I know is that Gypsy was desperate to get out of the situation that she was in, and Nick was willing to go along with.
No, Gypsy was desperate to murder her mother, not get out of the situation. There were a myriad of ways she could have gotten out of that situation. Many, many, many ways she could have gotten out of that situation. For some reason, she just wanted her mother murdered. Okay. I think we all have to come to that conclusion. I'll tell you, when I started on this case in January of 2024, the only thing I knew was that credible forensic psychologist had said that it's a good possibility Dee Dee did not have Munchausen. At that time, the medical records hadn't come out, nothing like that. Okay. And so, but that intrigued me because I knew that her whole alibi and the reason that she got the sweet plea deal was due to the Munchausen. And so that's why I picked this case to look into. Little did I know that then this medical records would come out. And even when they came out, I was still very hesitant until I got more and more information and did really a deep dive into all of those medical records over a year ago now, almost 18 months ago, a long time ago, and figured out that yeah, all that Dee Dee did not medically abuse her, but it was little by little by little with me, and then really pouring over those records. Anyways, you guys know the story. I don't have to tell you. I don't have to go on about that. All right, what else do I have for you guys? All right. Well, we remember when they got matching tattoos. Ken are caught flaunting their relationship all over social media. It causes Ryan Anderson to break down.
The matching tattoos broke my heart. It was like, did I mean anything? Did I mean anything?
Yeah, there was that, but he still will not, you would think after all this time now, but see, because that is why we know that this is not a normal breakup. This is not a normal divorce, because usually people are not still protecting the person, and he still is protecting her. And that's because he was in this malignant, narcissistic cycle of abuse relationship. All right, what else do I have for you guys? Hold on. Let's talk about how she uses babies in all of these relationships, the pregnancies and the baby stuff. You guys are probably familiar with a lot of that with each of them, even with Ryan. Even with Ryan, because it was more so with Nick, the pregnancy, the obsession, blah, blah, blah. And then that came back immediately when she gets out of prison. Ryan tells us she was not on any birth control. She was trying to get pregnant from day one. Well, we know that she actually did this with Nick, where she made him think that she had a miscarriage. First off, it's true. I almost had a baby girl, he says. If she was born, I would have been a very fierce father to deal with, but I believe she miscarried it on purpose, as sick and twisted as she is. Well, thank you for opening up about your childhood, little sis. However, this part of me is going to be hard. Where to start? Well, apparently, from what my dad has told me, he caught my mom using cocaine while pregnant with me. It's not just this. Okay, then he goes on about his mom. Here's the other part I want you guys to know about him. He talks about how he wants Gypsy as this mother figure, because he says that he thinks that his mother didn't do a good job doing that. He says, so pardon my French, cliche. If I don't care for me as a mother, hold on. This proved I don't need her. Well, I don't remember many memories as a child. This is why I hate talking about my childhood. I mean, I remember trying to save my mom from an abusive boyfriend at the age of 5, because I couldn't stand to see my mom abused anymore. I'm pointing this out because to my theme that all of these people in this cycle, right, come from probably a family, and the family of origin, that they experienced some trauma and some type of seeing abuse or being abused themselves. And that's why Gypsy is the familiar figure to them. Okay. All right. So she uses the miscarriage there too, right? And I just wanted to just really quick bring this up. She also used this October 24, 2022, miscarriage dream with Ryan. I had a bad dream last night. This is a prison email. I dreamed that while I was pregnant and while you were at work, at Walmart, I started to feel sick. I went to the bathroom and saw what was happening. I was having a miscarriage. I sat on the floor as I scooped this little tiny baby out of the toilet and was crying. I held it close and just kept saying, don't worry, Mama's got you. It's going to be all right. And I stayed there crying until someone came. So we've got all of these reoccurring themes. Why is she bringing this up to Ryan? Do you think she really had this dream? I don't. I think there was some reason while she was planting this seed in his mind about a miscarriage or about babies. I don't know, because she did it with Nick and then she did it with Ryan. Now, of course, that wasn't Ryan's baby. It was a dream, because maybe if they would have been together, she could have staged some kind of a miscarriage. I don't know what her weird thing is with pregnancy. You may say, well, why would she want to have a miscarriage if she wanted a baby? I think she wanted to be pregnant. I think her obsession was pregnancy, not necessarily having the baby. I think the focus of a pregnancy, then having the miscarriage possibly is something that all the attention goes back on, and that you're the victim then. Oh, you've lost your baby. And I'm just putting it out there. I don't know that for a fact, obviously. I'm just saying it's interesting that miscarriages come up with both of them, which is weird, right? Who thinks about that? She made it up with Nick. That was not a true thing. And then she makes it up with Ryan, and it's not a true thing. And it's just bizarre. Okay, she's bizarre. All right. That's all I can say. All right. Let me see what else I have for you guys. Let's listen to I know you guys have probably heard this before, but wait, let's listen to Ryan about. Let me bring this one up first.
But when I got people trolling me, I don't like being nice to trolls. Steph, happy birthday, sweetie. Mary, I'm honest. Sarah, do you want me to come back later? Oh, okay, yeah. I love that multiple people are saying things. Gypsy, tell your people get the fuck away from me. Quit watching my shit, Gypsy, and letting your people just talk shit to me. They don't know what you called me like 8 times last week, so.
Okay, there, right? Right, they're divorced. They're divorced. It's the cycle I was showing you, right? He's in the pissed off phase right now. He's in the pissed off phase, right? But then he has, she called me 8 times, right? Get your people out. There's something that's going on between them. He's mad. When they shouldn't be talking to each other, they're divorced. They don't have kids together. So why is this relationship still going on? Because that's how malignant narcissists roll. They don't let you go. They only let you go when they're completely done with you. And she was not completely done with him. And so he's still in the cycle. And you see the anger there. And then you called me 8 times.
They don't know what you called me like 8 times last week, so.
And lately, and this is also bizarro, but I want to point it out. This is just so bizarro. So she's claiming or putting out, Ken and I have decided as a family that I won't be contacting Ryan Anderson anymore, or that I've blocked Ryan Anderson. Ken and I decided as a family. What the fuck does talking or texting Ryan Anderson have to do with your family? Isn't that a you thing? I decided. Ken and I talked about it. Well, was Ken happy you were texting him? Or was Ken promoting you, talking to him, sending him pictures of the baby, sending your glamour shots? Ken and I decided as a family. I just almost lost my shit when I'm like, what? This is a couple months ago, right? Supposedly, she's finally cut him off. I don't know. I don't believe it. I believe when she wants him back, when she needs a little, it's called narcissistic fuel. These people give her fuel that she needs to keep going. And so when she needs some fuel from Ryan, she'll tap back into that. And Ryan exactly said that there was this big thing. Oh, Ryan doesn't have her phone number anymore. Ryan goes, oh, I got her new number. I got her new number now. That's a recent development.
But I didn't answer. So, yeah, but you won't tell him that shit. So.
Okay, so there's that. I want you guys to, I know you probably have seen this before too, but with new eyes now, right? With new eyes now, knowing all of what we know now, let's take a listen to Nick's mom.
I almost feel like he's safe. Understand and you know him better than anybody probably in the world. So you know what he's thinking, you know how he's feeling, and you know what's going on with him. Yeah. And all I can do for you. I almost feel like he's safer. Yeah.
It's really, really bad to say, but I almost feel like he's safer now than having contact with her on a regular basis, knowing what I know now.
Yeah. Did you, how long had it been that you were trying to discourage the relationship?
I'd say months. You know,
Okay.
like, Nick, you're a good-looking kid. I mean, you're a nice kid.
Would he always talk about her?
Just that he was always online with her, or she'd send him, she sent him like a ring in the mail or something, and always, I love you, and this and that, and like, you don't even know our relationship on the internet is not a relationship.
What kind of ring did she send him?
I don't know, so she probably got it out of a bubblegum machine, I don't know.
Okay.
But I'm sure he could tell you,
Okay.
you know. It's really sad because he is a good kid, and he's a good-looking kid, and for him to ruin his life over that, I'm sorry, but she's a beast.
She's a beast. Stephanie, I hear you. I hear you. And I'm sorry you're not here. Ooh, that gets to me that she's not here. It really does. You know, I don't care what, there's allegations. She wasn't the best mom and she had issues, but she was human. I bet she'd still be here if not for this situation. I bet she just beat herself up over this situation, as any mother would do, no matter what, no matter if you failed him in the past or what. I don't know what her life was like. I cannot judge her, but yeah, just really sad to me. Very sad. All right. What else do I have? I'm trying to look here. Hold on, guys. Hold on. Yeah, we're already at the hour mark. I know this is long. I just want to show this. So this is her love bombing. This was her love bombing Ken when they got back together. In March, 3 months after she was released from prison, Gypsy announced she and Ryan had separated. Days later, she and Ken were spotted out together for the first time shopping at a Dollar General in her hometown. The two made their rekindled romance official. After reconnecting earlier this month, we realized that our love for each other is simply undeniable, and life is too short to not take a chance, Gypsy told TMZ in a statement at the time. We have a history that made for the perfect foundation for a new beginning. Then you see this bullshit here. Soulmates will always find each other regardless of time, distance, and circumstance. Our legendary love story. Do you know what Mitch would do if I tried to do something like that with him, or he tried to do it with me? Get out of here. And we are been married for almost 30 years and we love each other a lot, a lot. I would do anything for him. But to act like this crazy legendary love story of the ages, the princess and the pea, or the Rapunzel it's such bullshit. It's such bullshit because she says it with every guy she's with. She is a malignant narcissist, and with a big sprinkle of psychopathy on there. Don't you think, Moo? Here comes Moo. It's going. No, Moo. You can't see Moo. She's like right in front of me. Moo. Oh, Moo. Oh, Moo. Good kitty. Okay. Go over there. All right. Sorry, guys. All right. I want to get to a couple comments and a couple things. Oh, don't bite me. Moo is so mad at me. And do you want to be a snowman? That's what I want to know from you guys. Hold on. Ouch, Moo. Ow. All right. I just want to share a couple comments. We don't have time for a lot. I hope to get to more on my next live. Tawny 6569. I said this before and I'll say it again. Gypsy asked Christy when she got to jail on their first phone call if she could come live with them when she got out. Christy said yes, but she couldn't ask Christy before the murder. That's important information. She had no issue after the crime asking someone if she could live with them. It's a good point. Next, at Mike Wells 3286. Can we just call her Merker Erker and call it a day? That had me rolling. Okay. Merker Erker. All right. At Angela Rothbauer 8096, who's one of the members on the Truth Train. I think she thinks trademarking her name means no one can say it. Is she really so transparent? Not very bright. And then the last one there at Wistful Navy, I think she thinks that means people need to stop talking about her without her permission. She's not that smart. Remember, LOL. All right, guys, couple of great comments there. I do read most of them, if not all of them. You guys have me rolling, or you guys have me thinking. I really want to thank you guys for the great comments, especially lately. Really been enjoying them, and some great emails that I want to share on my next live. I've got like a file that I just really want to share some of that file, because you guys are really smart and really funny at the same time. But the question is, do you want to be a snowman? I don't know. Here we go. Do
you want to build a snowman?
No, I don't. Get the fuck out of here. So that's going to do it for Becca Scoops. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. I will be going live within the next couple of days because I just have to. Okay. We just need to keep talking about this stuff over and over and over again. I know that there's going to be some new information coming out pretty soon. So look forward to that. That will be good. What else? Well, I think that's going to do it. I've kept you guys long enough. I want to thank you so much for tuning into my videos, for making my live streams so fun. I really enjoy them too. And at beccascoops@gmail.com if you want to email me. And yeah, that's going to do it for me. Thank you guys so much. So from me and my Keekins and my Maisie and my Pumpkins and Mitch, Becca Scoops out. You guys have a great evening. Bye-bye.